Let's get ready to plant us some set our tomatoes cages. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's way too far. Let's back up and do it again. Yeah, that'll be plenty. That will be plenty. And then we go 1, 2, 3. I want to leave plenty of room for those plenty of room for the tomatoes to work around them there. That's where we're going to plant our tomatoes. I was going to see if, you know, take it on back. I ain't going to. No way. I'm going to leave this where I can keep right on tilling it around this garden. Width of a tiller on the tractor, and that way that if the weeds start trying to encroach, and they will, I can just run that tiller through here. Whatever I decide to plant here today, and this is going to leave us plenty of room for our row of tomatoes. I planted. We're going to have us some brassicas and stuff like that in here. I don't want it crowded. I want to leave plenty of room. Not going to plant some sweet taters over here too. We'll see how they do. Got some sweet potatoes in the greenhouse, trying to get some slips off of them. Driving across it. What do they call them? Velometer. Let's see if I can see what it is here. I think that's what they call them. Velometer or whatever. I can't remember what they call them. Anyway, it basically is a button hooked to a wire, and you set your camera or your shutter. When you mash your shutter, it'll start recording. And then you set that velometer to run 30 minutes and 4 or 5 seconds. And then you go to set how many cycles you want it to go. Set it to whatever you want. I've got mine set on 20, but there's no way the battery would last that long. So anyway, when it kicks off in 30 minutes, within 4 seconds, it kicks right back on. Let's see if that works. I'm pretty sure it will. We're going to plant some stuff today. A few little items anyway. I'll look through here. Sunny today. There's some red okra. Achichaws. I don't know what to plant here, tell you the truth. I just don't know what to plant here today. Watermelons, cantaloupe, kale. That's kale. I wouldn't mind to sow a little row of kale. Let's start out with a little says giant winter. Kohlrabi. Let's lay us off a little row through here. What I'm saying is barley. because that stuff don't need to be planted deep at all. I'm sinking. I'm sinking in the earth here. I'm going to plant arugula. Arugula. I tell you, I don't know how I can do this without spilling them all. They ain't many either. They ain't many. I guess the best way to do it is not put many in your hand at a time, because it makes pretty good size plants. I just can't drizzle these out like they should be. I need to get me a little seed sower. That's probably all the arugula that I would possibly need right there, because ain't nobody'll eat this but me. Ain't nobody'll eat it but me. That'll leave me a little left. I'll have a little left. We'll go ahead and cover it up while we're here. I got to right here. Just lightly cover it. I'm just going to divide this row up because there's no need to plant whole rows of this stuff. This is fennel. Fennel goes good with garlic. If you've never fried fennel and garlic together, try it out sometime. Let's see what we can get by with here. Now this fennel was bagged for 2020. Save some of these, plant in the fall. I never did plant none early in the spring. I don't think I did. May not. Let's try it. We're gonna try it, and I'm gonna finish that row out with it too. Let's stop right here, and let's switch back to the other kind of kohlrabi and finish the row. And that way we'll have about half and half with the kohlrabi through there. Yeah. Most of the time I start my stuff in the greenhouse. Not always, but I try to start them in the greenhouse. And that way, where'd I go here? Right by. That way I know what I've got and I plant out here. But I'll just tell you, direct sowing in the garden, you can get a good stand. You get more for your money if you start it in the greenhouse seed-wise, but you do it like this, you avoid a transplant shock. You avoid the work that you're going to have to put in to transplant it. It don't take much to cover them. got them. Now let's go out through here and see if we can just barely cover them seeds. I come back and tamp that in. As light as you can cover them. I mean as light as you can push that dirt over them. See, I think on some of the stuff that I sowed, I got them a little deeper than I should have. Let's go on out to about right there. Then, what I was telling you earlier on that camera, I mean, you can work around that 30-minute shut-off time on your camera. Yeah, you can work around that, I believe. The sun already is getting warm. I love it, though. It beats that cold. I like them both, though, really. It's amazing how seasons change. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do right now. I've got that done. We'll come back to that. I planted some peas and they ain't up. They're not up yet. And they had a little age on them, so I'm saying they might not come up. Anyway, we'll look here. They might be up now. Maybe I'm gonna get my beans in the ground. And if I don't change my mind, these right here, beans, may be the only beans that I plant this year. Because we've got plenty of beans from last year. I like to plant them fairly thick because this ground is in pretty good shape. And this thing will support quite a few beans. Okay, let's cover them beans up. Not crazy. Inch and a half maybe. Fortex beans in the ground. Taters is coming out. I'm gonna have to skim the top of them before long. That's what we're gonna plant. The zucchini may be too early for them. I don't think so. Let's open them and send me seeds. How many seeds we got to even deal with here. I'm gonna put probably 3 in a hill. 2, 3, 4. I'm laying these heels off here. And there's a reason I'm doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Might as well finish this row out. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whew. 13, there will be 13 heels when we get done. So, what we're going to do, the reason I dug them little holes where the heels are going to go, I'm going to put fertilizer in them. And I'll run over here and get the fertilizer and get a little in a bucket so we can fertilize them. Yeah. Now, it's fertilizer, triple 10. Just going to take a little dab, about a handful or so, putting each one of them heels right there. Right in the bottom. Just throw a handful in there. One, just a little handful. Just got off count right back there. All right. Now, I've got to heel that up. And what that'll do, that'll put that fertilizer down in the bottom of that hole. We'll see. We'll see how she works. Now, what I want to do is that number right there. Okay. Now just turn around and go back the other way and pull a little from the other side. You know that peak, where that peak's at, is where your fertilizer's at. We're just making a heel. Now, I'm just going to pat that a little like this. Just like that. And level it out. You know, it's simple sometimes. You can just break out a little hole and throw that seed in. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this, by no means. I sure wouldn't in this good dirt here. But I want to, because I want to get that built up over that fertilizer. And when these big boogers come out of the ground, and them roots start running down, it won't be too long. They'll hit that fertilizer, and then they'll jump. They will jump. Okay, let's get our seed in the ground now. Well, I was going to put 3 in each one of them, but I'm going to go down through there and we're going to try to get every one of those hills sowed with zucchini. Ford hook zucchini from Burpee, and this is zucchini elite from Ferry Morse. My wife's picked them seeds up somewhere, I think. But anyway, we'll start out with the Ferry Morse seed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shake every one of them out in my hand. And I'm gonna plant 1, 2 seeds there. 1, 2. And if a bird don't beat me to them, no, I'm gonna plant 2. And we'll just continue right on through here. 1. And then we have to switch here to the Ford hook zucchini. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half of the Ferry Morse. Now we'll go on to Burpee. Rake my hand over, pat them down. I just push them down, my first joint on my finger. First joint. Rake them down, pat them a little. Planting them about 1 inch deep. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going back out there on that far end, because I had 2 hills left. So this will give me 11 hills of zucchini. I've got some watermelons that I've been wanting to try. And I'm gonna plant them 2 hills right now. So that got our squash. That took care of the squash. And these watermelons, I don't know how they'll do. I'm gonna plant a few of them, and they're called Wilson Sweet. Germination rate in 2022 was 84%. I'd say it's down to probably, it's in the 70s. So I'll go out there to the far end, if you can see out there, and what I'll do is we'll plant these watermelon seeds. Let's see, while I'm down there, I need to take this rake, and I can move, I might as well move it on this end now. We'll just move it over. 2, right there. Mm-hmm. I can't plant much more over here because I've got to keep this for my cabbage and stuff inside the greenhouse. These watermelons, I planted some last year, but I didn't get a watermelon from them. I'm gonna plant every one of them here. That's what I'm gonna do. Not every one of them, but I'm gonna plant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like 7. Well, let's 7. And that'll save us about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I dropped one, so I'll see if I can't catch him. 7. 6. Dead center's the 7th one. Sounds good to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. And we've got that strung off. And while I'm at it, on the way back down, I'll just level it off a little. Because I've sure walked her down. That's the thing about it, when you walk after you've tilled this like this, it'll pack right back down pretty good in the walkways. It is pretty nice. Now, we're laid off, ready for another one. We got our zucchini and 2 hills watermelons. We got some arugula. We got some fennel. And we got 2 different types of kohlrabi. And we've got a row laid off here, spaced and waiting for our row of tomato cages. And it'll be a while. We've got tomatoes in there that's coming on, but it'll be a while on them. So let's just raise up and fly out through there. I'll show you what's best I can here without going into too much detail. So this is lettuce coming up, and we'll follow that row all the way out through there, and you can see when it gets out to the far end there, you'll see that it starts thickening up, greening up, and that's where I sowed them thicker. Now up here on the left, under that sprinkler, you'll see a row of onions. And those are the white onions that I planted. And just a few days later, that row right there to the right of them, I planted with yellow onions. There's a few up, very few, not many. And of course the onions I planted last fall, the Egyptian walking onions, you can see them. And I split them and planted single bulbs. And they were the biggest bulbs, some of the biggest ones I dug up. They weren't the little sets that grow on top, they were the bulbs. And they've multiplied from that one bulb, and they're pretty thick. All the little bulbs, not all of them, but a lot of them I planted right there. You can see them growing, a bed of them, and it's got purple dead nettles in them. Then the garlic out through there, and you can see over there where I planted. Nothing, the potatoes are starting to come up right there. I think that's them right there. They're just now starting to come up. The peas have yet to come up inside there. They've not come up. And then of course, the little carrot bed out there and the onion bed, they're not up yet. They've not had time. Asparagus out there at the end, it's doing pretty good. Everything's just, and I said that I wasn't going to do this right here. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did. I went ahead and I chopped them figs down. I didn't dig them up, but I chopped them down because winter killed them. And then I did till. I tilled all the way up through there under them trees. Now, I wasn't going to, but I thought, well, if I don't till it and utilize it, I'll just be mowing it. So that little square right there, those are zinnias and marigolds. So hopefully they'll come up and do all right. Apple trees are blooming pretty good. And the plums have done bloomed. I don't know if they'll do anything or not. We'll walk over and see. That's the chestnut tree, and they're leafing out. And them apple blossoms. Ain't nothing smells no better than an apple blossom. These have bloomed, and I believe the freeze got them, to tell you the truth. I don't see not one, maybe, I don't know if that's one or the top of the, not one plum do I see. And that's the problem with these stone fruit in this area here lately. One dead, and these I see absolutely zero plums on them. I don't see a plum nowhere. That's why the peach trees left, and the plum trees, a lot of them. And that's why that one out on the very end's dead. That one is a plum. That one's a plum. And you see the ground. You see it shading the ground. Why would you want something to shade the ground like that? It don't need to be there. They don't need to be there. All right. I'll go show you one more thing here. Now, this is corn, sweet corn. I went ahead and planted it yesterday evening. And you can see my tracks. I done it with one of them little hand planters. But those first two rows is Silver Queen. And the others are, I think, Golden Queen. And then I think on the far sides, I planted some bodacious. All right. That'll get it. Whoop.